Hello, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're well. You join me and my spatula in the study again. I've literally just filmed my book review of Madeline Gray's Green Dot book, which was phenomenal. I loved it. So if you haven't checked that out already, I'll link it in the corner here. I love that book. I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. But today is a little bit of a different one. It is about the International Booker Prize longlist, which was announced earlier this month. So it's March when I'm filming this, mid-March. And it was announced, I think, last week. And I'd not heard of it before. How stupid is that? I'd heard of the Booker Prize before. And I actually thought that's what this long list was. And when I went into it more, I read it and researched it. I saw it was the International Booker Prize, and it sounds fascinating. Now, I am not a literary fiction girl, but when I saw some of them, I was like, I want to expand my reading horizons. And there are, I think it's 12 or 13 or 14 books. I might have botched that. But I picked 6 that stood out to me and ones that I wanted to add to my TBR. And I want to read before the shortlist is announced, or just the winner in general, which is May 21st. And I wrote a blog post on it, so I'll link it down below. So you might want to have a read. And if you're into the books that I read, so you might enjoy those. But I did a thing. I went to Daunt Books after work in London and I got the books because I've looked online and these books are blooming hard to get hold of. So of all the places, I thought maybe I could give it a go here, and I was right. I managed to get 3 of the 6 books, I think. We'll go into them. I got a few books. I got one that I literally only saw on is it the publisher's website or something? But yeah, I found it in Daunt Books. Yes, it's a bit of a relief. So I'm going to just open up, and my plan is to explain a little bit more about the books, about the International Book Prize if you're not familiar with it and you're newbie like me, and then the quotes that inspired me to read these as well, because I saw it on YouTube. I saw the announcement video and it was just like, 1, the cool trendy music, and 2, the quotes that were by them as well, just to summarize them, because I find sometimes reading blurbs can make it even sound really confusing or really boring and really just like pretentious. Like, that's what I feel with a lot of these novels, like they're trying to exclude a certain audience, and I want to be involved and broaden my reading horizons and get something challenging, because you don't know you like something unless you try it. So that's why I've got these books. I'm rambling on. I'm just going to go into my bag and I'm going to figure out how to hold my spatula. I somehow managed to balance my spatula, which is good. So I'm just going to go right into here. I'm going to go with the one that isn't on the long list. I found this one, of course. It's an Irish novel. It is Lazy Sissy by Rachel Connolly. I'll put that on my Instagram or whatever. I won't go into it in this video. You can read up about that as well. But I managed to get, it was 3, and I got those bookmarks. I got 3 of the books that were on my shortlist of the long list, and I've already started one of them. And yeah, they're all really, really short, but quite dense, some of them. First, a little bit about the International Booker Prize. So the International Booker Prize introduces readers to the best novels and short story collections from around the world that have been translated into English and published in the UK and or Ireland. So I've just read that from their website, which I included in my blog as well. I want to be as thorough as I can, so I've got my notes behind me, so you might see me flicking off the screen. And I've tried to include, please excuse my son, I've tried to include as much information as I can, including those quotes that did draw me in the first place. I'm just going to go from the top of my notes on my desktop. And one of those, Harry! First on my list is The Details by Ia Genberg. I think that's how you pronounce it. I might botch some of these names, I'll just be transparent. I'll read you the quote that inspired me. So this is from Swedish to English. And Genberg writes with a remarkably sharp eye about a series of messy relationships between friends, family and lovers. Give me any story about a family any day, I'm just certain I will love it. And if you go on the website includes so much detail. It includes synopsises of what happens in the books as well, if you just don't plan to read them or if you get really confused by them, and then some interpretations as well, but also a guide on the author, the translator, and then some of the characters within it as well, and then some of the themes of what happens within. But also what grabbed me with this book is Ia Genberg reveals an intimate and powerful celebration of what it means to be human. I'm sold. This is a short book, and I think the text isn't even that big. And it reminds me of like some of the short stories I read for like GCSE in English. Fun fact, I did look at doing a degree in English, but I just didn't end up doing it. And I did business because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I wanted to do French, but I got to college and it got really hard. And I really enjoy French, but yeah, it just took the love out of it. Same with English. I did it in college. I was all right at it. Then I love books a lot, and I felt forcing me to read books within a short amount of time would have made me hate it even more. So I feel everything happens for a reason, and then I get to enjoy books like this in my own time and explore it with the community as well. So there's that one. If you're into family and friendships and stuff, might enjoy that too. I might turn this into a reading vlog, I'm not sure, or separate book reviews. I've not quite planned that yet. It kind of switches between what I plan. Sounds right on my street. A lot of these I am quite lucky I managed to get. A lot of them are out in hardback as well. So I'm on the hunt on eBay and my local library as well. So eyes out for that. But yes, that's one of the first ones I got. And then I'll go on to this one next. I've just started reading this. It is called What I'd Rather Not Think About by Jente Posthuma. This, I'll just read you the blurb. By my 27th birthday, I owned 142 sweaters, and it was high time I saw a therapist. I'm sold. This follows some twins and their life, and if twins, you're always at each other's hip. And this follows what happens with the other one, where the other has taken their own life. So it's just the one twin left. This is originally from Dutch into English, so this is a moving exploration of grief and identity through the lives of twins, and an empathetic portrayal of love, loss, and resilience. This is a deeply moving exploration of grief, told in short, precise vignettes, I'm not sure of that word, which ask the question, what if one half of a pair of twins no longer wants to live? So this follows, I've started reading it, like I said, and the chapters are so short, it's like so addictive to read. And of course it's like a sad, tragic subject, but like it's like short chapters every time. And I think there's probably a reason for why Posthuma wrote like that. I'm still learning it, but like the cover, like this gorgeous cover, but then like, what does this mean? Yeah, really enjoying this. It seems really, it delicately draws upon what does it mean to lose someone, and it's just gentle. And then it says like it's full of melancholy but also a little bit of humor as well, I guess, because when you're thinking about a loved one you want to think of them in a positive light. So yes, there's that one as well. And then on to the final book that I picked up from Daunt Books. This was the one I said I've struggled to get a hold of everywhere, and I could only find it on the publisher's website. White Nights by Urszula Honek, I think. She's a Polish author, and this is translated by Kate Webster. So this one is a very different one to what I'm usually used to. It follows 13 interconnected stories set in Poland. But I think what grabbed me was, one, of course, the quote, but two, the picture is nothing like I thought it would be and where it's set. I'll put it on the screen if I can remember. But because this is black and white, I found it really difficult to picture. But of course, when you read it, it's going to open it up. But this is like a dense book, and you've got your 13 stories and small print as well. And this is a haunting series of connected stories concerning the tragedies and misfortunes that befall a group of people in a village in Poland's Beskid Mountains. It sounds a bit creepy, but when I like this, where it's set looks stunning. And what got me is it's the haunting series set in a small Polish town in which people seek meaning and belonging in a transient world. I mean, we'll see what it's all about, but each story centers itself around a different character and how it is that they manage to cope, survive, and merely exist despite and often an ignorance of the poverty, disappointment, tragedy, despair, brutality, and general sense of futility that surrounds them. This is why I need the notes on these kinds of novels, because when I've read the blurbs on these, they have not sounded interesting at all, or just really difficult to understand, but this makes it sound actually compelling. And yeah, they're all quite short, so hopefully easy to get through, but I'm certain they're packed with meaning. Those are the three I did get. I'll just talk through the other ones that I didn't get my hands on, but hopefully I'll get around to reading. One of them was Crooked Plow by Itamar Vieira Júnior, and I think it's set in Brazil, so something completely different from what I'm usually used to. And this is set in Brazil's poorest region. This is a tender yet gripping story of two sisters bound together by a history of violence. Now again, it's family, it's sisters, and I want to find out about these sisters, what's brought them together, how they're going through something so tragic and difficult, and more what binds them together forever. So this sounds completely different. And then move on to the other two. Another one is Lost on Me by Veronica Raimo. This is a funny, sharp, and wonderfully readable novel that takes us to the heart of an obsessive, unpredictable Italian family. I've seen this has been compared to Fleabag, and another thing on the website is if you scroll to like the bottom of each page for like the reading guides on each book, it will say, as well as like everything about the book, it gives you, if you like this, you'll like this one maybe. So loads of recommended reading. And another one, there was another reflective book, I think it might have been on this book, where it said Kazuo Ishigiro's A Pale View of Hills. I read that book, it was okay. It's not my favourite Ishiguro book, but still reflective books yeah, that's why I started this one first, because I feel I'm going to enjoy that the most, even if it is like a really bad poor tale of misfortune and losing someone. But this next one seems a bit more funny, a bit more upbeat, and it's a funny, wonderfully readable novel in which a fresh, playful voice takes us to the heart of an obsessive, unpredictable Italian family. Yeah, it just sounds pretty good. What was meant to be a really put together video is now a bit out of control, but we're on to the last book of the 6 I have chosen, and that is A Dictator Calls by Ismail Kadare. So I couldn't find a little bit about what it was translated from, but I know the author was born in Albania, but it's based on a 3-minute conversation between 2 politicians, Joseph Stalin and Boris Posthuma in 1934, so I'll just give you the quote as well. Kadare explores the tension between authoritarian politicians and creative artists, quest for definitive truth where none is to be found. Kadare's novel is a fascinating meditation of Soviet Russia, authoritarianism, I can't get that word right, authoritarianism, power structures, and the relationship between righteous and tyranny. This sounds wild. This sounds completely different to anything I would usually read. This seems something like my brother would read. We're completely different ends of the spectrum. I'm into your commercial, easy to read, compelling fiction, whereas he is into like your dense, dark fiction and history, non-fiction novels, anything that I would just not touch. But this, I feel this like would be right up his street, and I'm going to recommend this to him as well. And there isn't much else I could explain about this, but this, because it is completely different, it's that whole part of like challenging and pushing yourself. And yeah, the fact it's based on like a real life event, I think, this 3-minute conversation between these 2 people and different tellings between them, I don't know what to expect. From what I can see, it is based on a real thing, whereas between facts, dreams, and memories which the authors put together. I'll just read you the first sentence of it from the website. So in June 1934, Stalin reportedly telephoned the famous novelist and poet Boris Pasternak to discuss the arrest of Pasternak's fellow Soviet poet Osip Mandelstam, a man who had expressed criticism of the Soviet regime. Now, history is not my strongest point. It does fascinate me, but again, this could help me understand some of that, even if it is like in a way, and hopefully build on that. But I just thought this would be a real wild card and just challenge me, which is what I want. And books, I'm here for it. Yeah, those are all 6 in my International Booker Prize TBR from the long list 2024. I hope you enjoyed this video. I might turn this into a reading vlog, which is hopefully more put together. And yeah, if you like this, please give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe. It would be great to have you here. Thank you for your patience. Life's really busy. If you want to see other videos, let me know down below, because I'm all here for inspiration too. And yeah, always for advice. These videos will hopefully get a bit better. I'm just still filming from my phone, and if you made it this far, I'm super grateful. I thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you soon. I also post on my blog as well, because I love writing. I just love it. So you might see me there a bit more as well, and Instagram. But I'll try to pop up here wherever I can. I'm rambling now. Me and my spatula are going to go, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.